Hey everybody, welcome back. Review a Day, episode number 192. I'm Leland, and thank you guys for joining me. Do me a favor, head over to nitpickit.com and check out episode number 48 of the Nitpick It podcast. We have a lengthy discussion about James Cameron's Avatar. We say badass about 500 times in that review. We also talk about the Jeff Bridges film Crazy Heart. So head over there. The podcast is also available on iTunes. Subscribe and you'll get it every single week when I release it. Guys, the movie review I'm doing for you today is Up in the Air, and this is the third film from Jason Reitman, the guy that directed Juno and Thank You for Smoking, two pretty popular films. I didn't necessarily love either of them. I could take or leave them, but he's out with his third film, Jason Reitman, starring George Clooney, Vera Farmiga, Anna Kendrick, Jason Bateman, Danny McBride, and Melanie Lynskey. Melanie Lynskey, who you might know as Rose from 2.5 Men. She's also in Heavenly Creatures, the Peter Jackson film, which is terrific. If you haven't seen Heavenly Creatures, I wholeheartedly recommend you move it to the top of your Netflix queue because it's a really interesting, great film. Kate Winslet is in it. It's terrific. His new movie, Up in the Air, is about George Clooney, who's this guy whose job is to fly around the United States and fire people. He really loves the fact that he doesn't really have a home. He's not tied down with a lot of relationships. He can fit his entire life into a backpack. The world is his oyster, so to speak. His company is kind of changing. This young up-and-coming kid played by Anna Kendrick, who you might remember as Bella Swan's cuter, more charming best friend in the Twilight films. She's fresh-faced. George Clooney is going to take her on the road and kind of show her the ropes, show her it is exactly what they do. All the while, George Clooney is having this relationship with a woman played by Vera Farmiga. They're always traveling. They meet in different destinations around the United States. They have this really fun relationship to watch. Lots of fun dialogue back and forth. Two really smart people. George Clooney, however, he doesn't really necessarily want to settle down. He wants to keep his island, keep his, his solidarity, but people start weighing him down. This is Jason Reitman's third film, and with this you can start to see kind of themes emerge. I think this movie reminded me a lot of Thank You for Smoking, a movie I didn't necessarily love. But like that film, in this movie we have George Clooney, who is doing a job no one else wants to do. And not only is he doing it, but he loves it. He loves the fact that he is doing a job that no one else really wants to do. And I think George Clooney is the perfect guy to play this role. George Clooney really is the kind of, I always think of him as the modern Cary Grant. And he is endlessly charming in this movie, and he really does exactly what Jason Reitman needs him to do. He so perfectly carries off the I don't really need anyone attitude without it being sad and kind of hokey. I think he really makes this movie what it is for the most part. I also think that Vera Farmiga is the perfect, not necessarily a foil to George Clooney, but they're equal. They both come across incredibly intelligently, and when George Clooney's character starts to kind of question his way of life, question his lifestyle choices, you get it. You're like, oh, Vera Farmiga, she's goddamn gorgeous. She's naked in this movie at one point, and it is, whew, it's smoking. It's quite fantastic. I don't mean to dude out on you guys for a second, but she looks terrific, and you really completely get the relationship between the two of them. You get why George Clooney wants to give up everything and go with her. I really did buy that. I also think Anna Kendrick is terrific in this film. I think she maybe gets a little too cartoony. At one point in the movie, total nitpick. Jason Reitman is also very funny. Melanie Lynskey and Danny McBride play, Melanie Lynskey plays George Clooney's sister in the film. She's marrying Danny McBride, and I think both of them do a pretty terrific job. I really love Danny McBride and Melanie Lynskey, and it was a joy to see them play a married couple together. I don't necessarily consider Jason Reitman to be the top elite directors among his age. I don't think he's a P.T. Anderson or a Spike Jonze or a David Fincher or anything like that. But I think he really knows how to make a damn good movie. His movies are always pretty slick with the editing. They always have great pacing. And all of his, I don't think his movies necessarily change lives, but they're the type of films that when you go to the movies, you're gonna have a damn good time. It's the type of film that I could really pretty much recommend to just about anyone and not have them be like, what the fuck were you thinking? This movie was terrible. I really liked Up in the Air a lot. It is a charming movie. It really has a lot to do with today. So many movies I watch, I sit through Avatar, and it's like, well, what does this really have to do with today? Up in the Air is a movie for today, but all the while feeling like something out of classic Hollywood. George Clooney is terrific. I give Up in the Air a 4 out of 5. This movie is quite enjoyable. I highly recommend it. Guys, if you like this review, make sure to head over to dampercast.com or nitpickit.com. I'll see you guys next time.